onto McKay Street heading into the hospital. I don't see anyone here from National Grid. Does any counselor have any questions? We have any referrals or anything back on anything? We didn't really send anything out on this.
No, we sent them the hearing notice, and I talked to, the gentleman that always contacts us, contacts me the next day after the meeting to see when the hearing is, so they knew.
I don't think there's a problem up there anyway. That's gotta be all in relationship to the construction.
They pretty much own the whole street, Madam Chair.
Yeah,
You know, there is some existing poles there right now, but I'm not sure what they're doing. I would imagine they're removing those for the other
Right.
three.
okay, are there any counselors that have any questions or comments regarding this petition? Not, I'll go to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in support or against 8-18? Again, is there anyone who wishes to comment on 8-18? The third and final time, is there anyone who wishes to comment on 8-18? Hearing none, I declare the hearing closed, public hearing closed. Any other councilors have any questions? All right, declare the hearing closed.
But we'll be listening to the opinions expressed by the speaker. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. At this time, the following person has signed up to speak. Holly Koski, please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Holly Koski, I used to live in Massachusetts, that's why, in Leominster, that's why it says Marita Street there, and now live at Redgate Lane in Ringe. This isn't on the agenda. I just wanted to ask whether or not you had planned on doing the joint meeting with the school department. I know you had mentioned getting together with them to discuss budget items, and whether or not the budget, if they presented to you the line items that you had requested. Another question, well, not a question, I wanted to let you know. The last time I was here, I told you that the custodians had a case that they had filed with the state. And so I just wanted to let you know that they conducted an in-person investigation of the allegations on August 14th, and based on the evidence presented during the investigation, they have found probable cause to believe that violations have occurred. So it's going forward, and that was issued on the 19th. So I just wanted to update you on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak at the public forum? There's nobody else that has signed up, so. Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Nancy Martin. I live in Nichols Street in Leominster. Nothing to do with on the agenda. I just want to thank everybody on the city council, for people, the members of the city council that have served Mr. Lanciani for all the many years. And I know everything that's happened through the summer, for all of your service. That's pretty much all I really wanted to do, is thank everybody here.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, would anybody else like to speak at the public forum? Once again, would anybody else like to speak at the public forum? And for the third and final time, would anybody else like to speak at the public forum? Seeing none, I declare the public forum closed. pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, that'd be great to connect.
I am now going to take a roll call of the honorable members of the Leominster City Council, beginning with Councilor Frida,
Present.
Councilor Dombrowski,
Present.
Councilor Shalfo Zephyr,
Present.
Councilor Feckley,
Present.
Councilor Bedanza,
Present.
Councilor Lanciani,
Present.
Councilor Cormier,
Present.
Councilor Marchian.
Present.
And I am present. All 9 members are present this evening. Does the chairwoman of records, Madam Vice President, have any records to report this evening?
I do, Mr. President. I have the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council, September 11th, 2017. I find them to be in order and ask that they be placed on file.
Okay, so the Vice President is finding the minutes of September 11th, 2017 to be in order and is asking that they be placed on file. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Seeing none, those minutes will be placed on file, and we will move right into petitions. Item number 9-18, Madam Clerk.
9-18, Officer Julio Ramos requests no parking signs be placed 306 feet west from the intersection of Spruce and Whitney Street on the north side, starting at pole number 5 and going 100 feet to pole number 4. The sign should read, "No parking Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. until 6 p.m."
Okay, and 9-18 will be referred to the Chairman of Legal Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. Regular course with a referral to the Traffic Bureau of the Leominster Police Department.
Okay, 9-18 has been given regular course with a referral to the Traffic Bureau of the Leominster Police Department. 10-18.
1018, National Grid and Verizon New England Incorporated, Main Street. Install one jointly owned pole on Main Street to service house number 1416 and eventually 1424 in the future.
Okay, and 10-18 is referred to the Chairwoman of Public Service.
Mr. President, 10-18, we've given regular course. We have to establish a hearing, or 10-10-17 at 7:10.
Okay, so 10-18 has been given regular course, and we need to establish a hearing for October 10th, 2017 at 7:10 p.m. All those in favor of establishing that hearing, please signify in the usual manner. Those opposed, by a vote of 8-0, I am abstaining from this. The hearing has been established. Moving on to items under appointments.
Appointment, Sylvia Lamb, Leominster Housing Authority, term to expire April 15th, 2018.
Okay, and this appointment will be referred to the Chairwoman of Ways and Means.
Thank you, Mr. President. Regular course, and we will ask the city clerk to ask Ms. Lamb to come down for an interview.
Okay, so this appointment has been given regular course, and we will schedule an interview. The next appointment.
Election officers, terms to expire August 31st, 2018.
And these appointments also are referred to the Chairwoman of Ways and Means.
First on the agenda, Mr. President, regular course.
And these election officer appointments have been given regular course. Moving on to matters before the City Council, items under legal affairs. 7-18. Mr. Chairman, are you ready to report?
I am, Mr. President. Petition 718, Officer Julio Ramos requests no parking anytime signs be placed on the east side of Main Street from Merriam Avenue to Columbia Street. We do have a referral, or recommendation rather, from the Leominster Police Department, received by the city clerk on September 22nd, 2017. To the Honorable City Council, this letter is in reference to petition 718, a request to place no parking signs on the east side of Main Street from Merriam Avenue to Columbia Street. For traffic and pedestrian safety reasons, the police department requested the no parking signs be placed at this location. The police department fully supports this petition. It would be my recommendation to grant petition 718. And, Mr. President, I'd ask you to poll my committee.
Okay, Councilor Frida?
I agree.
Councilor?
I just have one question, if I may, on this.
Sure.
Is this right across from the police station through the chair? Excuse me, across the street from the post office?
Yes.
So through the chair, we're displacing how many parking spaces? I think maybe 3 or 4?
More
Like 5 or 6.
More like 5 or 6, right?
I think 5, yeah.
All right, so my question is, what is the purpose of that? And the reason is, I was involved with the Downtown Association for quite a while. And parking was a prime thing in the downtown area. You know, to pick up one spot here or there was a big deal. It still is today, especially with the situation we have right now with the build-out of everything that's happening in the downtown district. So the question would be, why would we want to take away as many as 5 parking spaces? Now, the post office, that means the only way you can access the post office would be by coming around and parking in front of the post office, which has very limited and restricted spaces with the buffer to the corner and also the crosswalk and the curb cut going into the back of the post office for the parking for their own employees. Then in the back, you have limited access because you have an abutting property that basically has 50% of the parking spaces in that small parking lot, and the other one's handicapped. So, you know, my concern is that if we're doing this because there's a new business going in down there, and they're going to do a curb cut, or for the beautification purpose, a sidewalk type of a thing, you know, this is gonna impose on the people who have to use the post office. And I check a P.O. box on a weekly basis for the football club of the high school, and it's a pain. It's hard right now not to be able to park down there. And I understand the construction and everything, but I can't even envision what it would be like on Saturday morning when you're trying to get in there. You know, never mind, you have to, where's your turnaround, is what it comes down to. So if you're actually driving down Merriam Ave and veering left, where are you gonna go turn around to have to come back with the traffic to be able to lobby for 2 or 3 spaces if you're lucky in front of the post office? What do? You can't use the mobile station, you can't use the bank, you can't use Columbia Street, and you can't use Merriam Ave. There's no parking over there for the most part on the other side of the building. So I'm kind of concerned about the whole thing, if that in fact is where the no parking is going to be restricted.
Okay.
So I'm concerned about it.
Okay. So is your recommendation to?
Well, I'm concerned about it. I think that when we had the same, if I may through the chair,
Sure.
Walmart was coming in downtown. And what happened was,
Walgreens.
I'm sorry, thank you. Thank God it's not Walmart. That's a good catch there. So what happened was we spent a good 6 months in ZBA with them on different issues. And one of the big issues happened to be one parking space that we were losing on Main Street. Now, you can imagine with the restaurants down there, you know, and the jewelry store, and in a realtor, and other retail establishments, we're almost at a full blowout right now of our retail establishment downtown. One parking space is pretty significant. So what Walgreens did was they were supposed to dedicate a sign telling us, the public, that we could park in private parking if we needed to. So they've been great partners. We didn't need the sign, and a lot of people take advantage of that, and it's kind of a goodwill agreement. So the fact of the matter is, if we have a bank now that is coming in, you know, what is the rationale of why we are doing this? Is this a major public safety thing for fire trucks and ambulances and things like that? Because it's been going on for a long time. The parking spaces have been there as long as we've been here. And they were there when the Columbia building was in full build and rented. So I'm concerned that, I want to know what the rationale is behind this. You know, again, going back to, this is not just one space to be able to have easier egress into the corridor from Merriam Ave. This is the entire front of that new building going up. And I'd like to know why the city's caving in on 5 parking spaces. What does a parking space cost in downtown Boston?
What was your recommendation
Is
further
we kind of
time?
hold off. I think we need more information, because I just, no way I'm gonna give up 5 parking spaces after, I was the coordinator for the Downtown Association for almost 8 years. And I mean, this was the big thing, all the way down to Allen's Department Store. People were talking about it every single month, was parking downtown. I don't wanna give up 5.
Okay, so you wanna get further time?
I need more explanation on it.
Councilor Shalfo Zephyr?
I agree with the Ward 5 counselor about further time. My concern is, I thought that right now, there's no parking in front of where Enterprise is being constructed, and I thought that was temporary, while they were doing some, you know, work close to the road. So I guess I would ask for further time, and I would also like to reach out to I don't know what the plan is on that. I don't know what Enterprise's plan is for parking. I don't know if there's a curb cut around the other side. I don't know if there's one coming in off of Main Street. So I think whatever their plan is will impact, how I feel about those parking spaces in the front. So I would like that information as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Further time, Councilor Bedanta.
All right, to answer the Ward 5 councilor's question relative to the impetus of this, the petitioner states, recently a temporary parking ban has been put in place. No parking signs have been posted and road barriers have been placed to prevent motorists from parking at these spots. As a result, there has been a decrease in crashes, gridlock, and individuals jaywalking. So the empirical data is basically someone's observation, I guess, of a few months while the temporary parking ban was placed there. Like has been stated, it's a busy spot, and the parking for the Leominster Post Office is inadequate. They have 2 lots, one on each side of the building. Lots of people that aren't on post office business use the lot that is the southern lot, the southern side of the building. It's hard to get a parking spot in there. These parking spaces are at a premium. I use the post office personally a lot, and I can tell you that there isn't enough parking there. So to take these spots away, I'd be hard pressed to do that without a lot more work being done on this. I'm inclined against it, frankly, unless I hear a really good reason to the contrary. I contacted the Leominster Post Office today, and it sort of bothers me that this petition would be presented without any input from the post office or any input from the business that's being built there currently, Enterprise Bank. I mean, I would think at a minimum we'd want to hear from them. I did speak to an assistant to the postmaster. He's gonna reach out to me, I guess, by email at some point. But she couldn't give an official position for the post office, but they sounded like they were interested in what the outcome of this is, or this particular petition. So I think at a minimum, we should look for further time here, get input from the post office, get input from Enterprise Bank. And, like I said, we don't have a lot of empirical data to suggest that there's gonna be any real significant gain with respect to safety there. I know that the police sometimes are concerned about gridlock that occurs there, but those parking spaces are pretty valuable. So I would be in favor of further time.
Okay, so it sounds, Mr. Chairman, like you have a recommendation for a further time?
Yeah, and I think those are good points raised, so I don't have a problem with further time as well.
Councilor Frieder, as a member of the committee, do you have another comment?
No, I absolutely agree with further time. And through the chair, I can remember years ago, there was a parking issue, and I think the Ward 5 councilor initiated taking the meters out in front of the post office on the other side. So, it's clearly been an ongoing problem, so I guess I wasn't paying attention to exactly where it was when I was reading this.
So, further time.
Okay, so you've heard the recommendation of the Legal Affairs Committee to give 7-18 further time. Is there any discussion? Councilor
I
Marchand?
respect the petitioner, he's probably reacting to some of the data he's gathered, but I have to, it just brings a smile to my face when I hear about jaywalking. Oh, my God. From Park Street, from Main Street to West, from Lower West, from Main Street to Church, from Main Street to Merriam Ave to Columbia. I mean, anywhere where people park, they're not gonna walk down to the corner and wait for the light, they just cross when they can. And motorists have been pretty good about that. So I appreciate that law, but in reality, I don't think that should be a key rationale for taking away 5 parking spaces. If that's the case, let's just take all of them away. No more jaywalking. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on 7-18? Seeing none, all those in favor of giving 7-18 further time, please signify in the usual manner. Those opposed, by a vote of 9-0, 7-18 has been given further time. Moving on to items under public service. 8-18, Madam Chairwoman, you ready to report?
Yes, 8-18, National Grid, McKay Street, install 3 singly owned poles and 1 guy wire onto McKay Street heading into the hospital. We had a public hearing tonight, and we had no opposition and no support either way. Hearing is closed, so the recommendation, I'll go to my committee. If you could, Mr. President,
Okay,
my
Counselor.
recommendation would
Beckley.
be to grant.
Okay, Counselor Feckley, are you in accord?
I concur with that.
Okay, and Counselor Cormier?
I agree.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a recommendation from the Public Service Committee to grant 8-18. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of granting 8-18, please signify in the usual manner. Those opposed, by a vote of 9-0, 8-18 has been granted. Moving on to the City of Leominster's financial report. Mr. Chairman of Finance, are you ready to report?
Yes, Mr. President. We began the fiscal year with a balance of $14,517,855 in the stabilization account. All of the appropriations that we have passed this year total $2,497,375, leaving a current balance in the stabilization fund of $12,020,480.
Okay, and that is the financial report. Is there any questions or comments? Seeing none, we will move on to items under old business. There is nothing on the agenda. Does anybody have any old items to discuss? Councilor Shalfo-Zephyr.
Yeah, thank you very much. At our last meeting, we asked the clerk to follow up with the school department about a hearing, not a hearing, excuse me, a meeting, just to discuss with the school administration and some of the school committee how things are going with the new school year. And I just, for the record, wanted to read Mr. Joliker's response. Dated September 25th, Leominster City Council. The Leominster School Committee is in receipt of your request to meet to discuss the school department budget. We are currently in the process of finalizing the line item budget for FY 2018 in preparation for the joint meeting. The Finance Subcommittee requested a review of the budget before presentation to the City Council. As soon as we complete this task, we will contact the Council regarding a mutually convenient time to discuss the budget and any other agenda items. Sincerely, James R. Joliker, Superintendent of Schools. I appreciated that response. I understand that they would want to, get organized before they came down and we had a conversation about the budget and how it's all being rolled out. So I just wanted to let people know that we are still planning to meet with the school department, and that's what we're waiting for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other old business to come before the City Council? Seeing none, is there any, well, we have one item under new business. It's the first reading of an ordinance. Is the Chairwoman of Legal Affairs ready to report?
The Chairman of Legal Affairs is ready to report.
Chairwoman?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. The
problem.
the chairman.
No,
I apologize.
I'm looking particularly good tonight.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
First
Oh, my
reading of an
God.
ordinance, amend Chapter 22 of the revised ordinances entitled zoning by amending Section 22-50.4.1, common driveways, by deleting the words "shall service no more than 2 lots" and inserting "are not permitted." The recommendation, and I'll need you to poll my committee to confirm, is to adopt the first reading of the ordinance and schedule a hearing on the second reading for October 23rd, 2017 at 7:00 p.m.
Okay. Councilor Frida, you all set?
I'm not sure. I'm going to hold my comment on that.
Okay.
all
Councilor
set,
Marchand?
thank you.
Councilor Shalfo-Zephyr? Councilor Pedanza?
I'm good.
Okay. Back to you.
I'll go along because we still have time to go through the hearing. so.
Okay. All right, so you've heard the recommendation of the Legal Affairs Committee to grant or adopt the first reading of this ordinance and to establish a hearing for October 23rd, 2017 at 7:00 p.m. Is there any other discussion? Councilor
Oh, no, I'm
Marchand?
sorry.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no other discussion, we will do this in a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Frida.
Yay.
Councilor Dombrowski.
Yay.
Councilor Shalfo-Zephyr.
Yay.
Councilor Feckley.
Yay.
Councilor Bedanza.
Yay.
Councilor Lanciani.
Yay.
Councilor Cormier.
Yay.
Councilor Marchian.
Yay.
And I will be recorded as yay by a vote of 9-0. The first reading of this ordinance has been adopted. Is there any other new business to come before the City Council? Councilor Marchian.
If I may, our agenda, Mr. President, has been light for the last couple of meetings, potentially anticipating it to be light as we go into the fall. It may not be a bad idea if we start addressing table petitions to try to
Absolutely.
clean out committee work,
Okay.
but we have the opportunity to take care of that before the new year. So, my suggestion would be to you to ask, for chairmans to
Absolutely.
take them out and deal with
I
it.
think earlier in the year, I cleaned some of the legal affairs stuff out, and,
Yeah.
yeah, if everybody could take a look.
Yep.
There might be still some things sitting there.
Can we ask the clerk, Mr. President, for
And the
kind
clerk,
of an
did-
audit
did
on
you-
it?
yeah,
Okay, thanks.
okay. The clerk will make a list for each committee, actually leave it in their box, so it won't get forgotten. How's that? Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other new business? Council Feckley?
I just wanted to mention that last night, or I guess most of the day yesterday, they had some type of music festival at the Fitchburg Airport. And around 6:30 last night, the whoever the star singer was came on stage. And that noise resonated throughout North Leominster, like it was in our backyards. I got several constituent complaints. I reached out to the mayor, and I didn't get a response. But I'm wondering if we could contact, maybe the president could contact the Fitchburg City Council president and find out who is giving them permits to do this. I mean, the Fitchburg Airport is municipal. I would suppose that they need to get a permit to have this. So, I mean, 6:30 to about 9 o'clock last night on a Sunday night. You know, I don't have a problem with music, but it just echoes. I don't know whether they're speakers or, and this has been going on. This is, you know, twice a year this happens. The people in Liberty Place go crazy. I hear, you know, I get 2 or 3 complaints. So I would ask again that maybe the president reach out to the president of the city council in Fitchburg to find out what's going on with that.
Absolutely.
All right,
I think
thank
We
you.
can do that, absolutely. Councilor Pedanza?
Yeah, that's a good point. I could hear that in my house where I live, which is probably about 3 miles as the crow flies audibly outside. I could hear it inside my house. And it did continue, apparently, from what I read on social media, that it wasn't supposed to continue in the evening, and it did, in violation of what they had promised. So I would ask that the clerk suggest to the mayor that maybe we get the health director, who's our enforcing agent, involved with his counterpart in Fitchburg, because we can't allow this to continue.
No.
That clearly violates DEP guidelines as well as our ordinance.
That might be a good idea for the 2 health inspectors to work together. Certainly, our mayor should be involved as well.
That's right.
And I'll speak to the council president. I'll send an email through the clerk's office, formal email as well, to find out if they're issuing permits and what their enforcement is as well.
Okay, thank you. All those ideas are very good.
Okay.
Just as long as it maintains peace and quiet.
Okay. Maybe we can discuss this at our next dinner that we have with them as well, our concerns. Hopefully it'll be.
At the airport
or
diner.
or to ensure that it doesn't happen again next year, right? That should be in the spring, the
Yeah,
Tri-City City
it's-
Council meeting?
I think it's
right?
twice a year, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, is there any other new
Thank you.
business? Counselor Dombrowski?
Yeah, just going back to petition 718, can we bring Officer Ramos down? Ask him to come down. I think he's talking about the corner. I think he's just talking about the corner of Merriam and the corner of Columbia.
There's already no parking on the corner of
Right.
Merriam.
I don't know if there's
Yeah.
signs there, though.
The other, yeah,
don't
he's
know.
talking about the whole, he wants to make no
Yeah, it
parking
says
from one corner
right
to the other.
From Merriam
Merriam.
Avenue
Yeah,
To
to
Columbia.
That's clear.
Columbia.
That's the whole side of
the
the
whole
street.
side.
that's, I don't read it that way. Well, I'd like him to come down,
Okay.
just to clear it
well,
up. I don't read it that way, I just
we
read
could-
it from
take
one
a-
street to another street.
We'll take a vote, absolutely. Counselor Frida, do you have
Through the
anything
chair, it
under new
might be a good
business?
idea to get information from the, either the building inspector or the planning board as to what the plan is for that area at the same time.
Yeah, we could, sure.
All right. Is there any other new business? Seeing none, is there anything to come into the community calendar?
Friday Night Lights, Leominster High, 7 o'clock game, Doyle Field.
Nice. Counselor Cormier?
Yep, just a reminder to the residents of Ward 2, we have a primary election tomorrow for the school committee. Francis Drake School, I believe the hours are, is it 8 to 8? 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So make your voice heard, go out and vote tomorrow.
All right, is there anything else to come into the community calendar? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion and a second to adjourn, and we have a motion from Counselor Shalfo Zephyr. Do I have a second? Counselor Feckley. All those in favor of adjourning, please signify in usual manner. Those opposed, by a vote of 9-0. The city council meeting for September 25th, 2017 is now adjourned. Thank you all very much.